lacrosse game of the week. The Loyola College Greyhounds versus the Johns Hopkins University Blue Jays.
Hi, everybody. Our final stop on our two sports college lacrosse game of the week, Homewood Field. The Blue Jays and Loyola this afternoon. Hi, everybody. Scott Garceau along with Keith Mills and Quint Kesnick. Keith, these two, whether it's a playoff bye or whatever it is, when Loyola and Hopkins get together, they know each other and they want to beat each other.
Yeah, Scott, this has developed into a great crosstown Charles Street rivalry. Hopkins has kind of dominated the series, but Loyola has really come on strong the last 6 or 7 years, winning their only 3 games. Forget about where they play this game. Forget about the standings today. This is Charles Street pride on the line.
Well, Quint, when we look at Loyola, an exciting team. We've had several great games with them this year. Gavin Prout coming off an 8-goal effort, the best in the nation this year.
Yeah, 8 goals on 9 shots. He almost set a Loyola scoring record for a single game. Gavin Prout, to me, though, he's the most versatile and most complete player in the country. The guy can score goals. We know that. He's got 31 on the season. He's also a great passer, plays wonderful defense. He's tenacious on ground balls, and he's really an emotional leader. For his career, he's got over 100 points. Gavin Prout, I just love his style. I love the way he plays the game.
And another guy that can make moves on the attack end is Bobby Horsey.
And Horsey is real hot right now. I tell you, he's coming off a big game against Hobart with 4 goals. He had 4 against Villanova, and he had 6 against Butler. Strong right-handed player. He likes to invert from behind the goal, and I think he it will cause Hopkins some matchup problems. I think he'll be very effective today.
Well, Keith, over on the other side, Hopkins noted for their defense, but they've scored 27 goals in their last 2 games.
And it begins and ends with Eric Whedon, Scott. He is a legitimate Player of the Year candidate. He's done a little bit of everything. He scored 13 goals, but of course his forte is the face-off. And check this out last week against Towson. Whedon wins the face-off, and it ends in the stick of Adam Doniger, who jukes and jukes and jukes and beats John Hortigan. Eric Whedon, just a sensational season, 13 goals, 8 assists, and he's won 56% of his face-offs. And again, as he goes, so go the Blue Jays.
And Bobby Benson had the game winner with under 2 minutes left last week, had a big game against Towson.
Big game, big number 13 sophomore from McDonough, as Quinn said last week, has added the assist to his repertoire as well. 24 goals, 13 assists, leads a very young but very talented first-team attack for Johns Hopkins.
There you have some of the top players in this game. Back to take a look at the starting lineups right after this.
The Toyota Lacrosse Game of the Week, brought to you by Toyota, the right one for you. Wells Discount Liquors. Visit Wells for all your entertaining needs. Union Memorial Sports Medicine, outstanding in the field. And Bud Light. Make it a Bud Light.
Hopkins against number 7 Loyola today. Let's take a look at the starting lineups, Quint.
Loyola's top 6, I think, is real lethal. I love the way they're gelling right now. You take a look at their attack, the quickness of Gunnar Gettleman, and then you got Chris Summers from St. Mary's. He's been so effective. And Brundage, what a good-looking freshman he is. The midfield, really the strength of the offense. Bobby Horsey, we talked about him, Gavin Prout, and then Michael Sullivan having a great season. Defensively, Brasco, John Brasco, the Hopkins transfer, Billy Armstrong, and David Metz. You also hear Mike Stromberg's name mentioned quite a bit. And then in the goal, Jason Bourne of Mount St. Joe.
Quint, the selection committee meets tomorrow. What does this game mean as far as the tournament?
Well, I think if Hopkins wins, I think they'll get a bye. I think they'll be seeded number 4. I think if Loyola wins, they'll be seeded number 5. They lost head-to-head with Notre Dame. I would see Notre Dame being number 4. Obviously, Princeton, number 1 or 2 with Syracuse, and then Maryland probably number 3.
Okay, Keith, how about Hopkins? How are they lining up today?
Yeah, we mentioned that young but talented attack, Scott. Here it is. Bob Benson, who has 24 goals. Connor Ford, who has 9 goals in his last 2 games. He's just a freshman from St. Paul's. And Adam Doniger, the sophomore from Lynbrook, New York. He'll wear number 25. First-team midfield, Eric Whedon, the clearly Player of the Year candidate, number 3. He's a senior. Connor Dennehan, the other senior from Manhasset, in the midst of a banner last couple of weeks. And sophomore Tim Muir had the big takeaway last week, late in the game against Towson. First-team defense, playing their last game here at Homewood Field. Very smart, very talented, very tough. Brandon Shook, Sean Nadlin, and Brandon Testa. Well, they've had a banner career, which will end today in front of goalie Rob Scheer.
And Keith, you know why you and I were sleeping last night? Quint was up late trying to figure out the final edition
with his staff
of the Baltimore County Savings Bank keys to this game.
I actually was. It was a long night last night, but I got some solid keys for you. For Loyola, the keys, I think, are the face-offs and the goaltending. Against Hobart, they only won 5 of 34 face-offs. Jason Bourne has been inconsistent, sometimes hot, sometimes cold. Shooting, they need to have a hot hand. They have. They scored in their first 6 shots against Hobart, including their first 9 of 10. Look for that streak to continue. For Johns Hopkins, it's all about the seniors today playing their last game here on Homewood Field. Guys like Nadlin, Shook, Testa, Costa, Whedon, and Denahan. And then finally, this is a grudge match. These teams do not like each other. You got two guys who transferred, Matt Hanna from Loyola to Hopkins and Brasco from Hopkins to Loyola. I think on a personal level, this game's going to be chippy. It's going to be rough.
All right, we've got a beautiful afternoon. We're ready to go. It's Hopkins and Loyola coming up next.
Hi, everybody. Quint Kesnick here with John Henkel. He's the owner of the Outback Steakhouse in Ellicott City, Maryland. Right now, we're at Homewood Field. You see the wonderful tailgate activities going on behind us. The aroma of the cooking steak is definitely getting me hungry. John, I've been to your restaurant 3 or 4 times. The service was incredible, and the food speaks for itself.
We've been very blessed with some great people, and of course our food is just very awesome. People come from all over to come to my restaurant and all our restaurants in our Maryland area to enjoy our food.
I've noticed great value and great atmosphere every time in your restaurant. I had a wonderful time.
Yeah, it's the whole package is there. Everybody that comes in compliments on the whole filling and the whole how I get people to be so excited, and they're just all happy to be there.
Next Sunday, May 13th, is Mother's Day. Couldn't think of a better time to take your mom out to an Outback Steakhouse in the state of Maryland. If you're close to the Ellicott City, certainly stop by and give John a shot. I will be there with my mom. She's coming down from upstate New York. We'll see you at Outback Steakhouse in Ellicott City for Mother's Day next Sunday.
Beautiful afternoon here at Homewood Field. Scott Garceau, Keith Mills, and Quint Kesnick with you. It's Loyola and Hopkins. As you look at Dave Petramala, Loyola comes in 9-2. They've won 5 straight. Hopkins 7-3 on the year, ranked number 3. Loyola ranked number 7.
Take a look at the series. Hopkins leads 35-3. They won the first 30 meetings. Last season was a high-scoring game, 16-12 at Curly Field.
And Dave Cottle, the head hound over there. His Greyhounds, couple of losses on the year to Notre Dame and Towson, but they've had some big wins, including a game we did where they came from behind to down Syracuse 14-13. Keith, that's probably the best game of the year.
Maybe Scott probably turned their season around as well.
One thing Loyola has not done is, as Quint pointed out in the Keys, they have not done a good job face-offs. Last week they lost 29 of 34. And of course Eric Whedon, one of the best in the nation for the Blue Jays.
Great work over there, Quinn, again from Nadlin on the wing on the face-off. We'll talk a lot about him today, but Dave Petramala told us on the show this morning that he might be the best defensive player in the country.
He's going to be matched up with Gavin Prout. They'll swing him up top to cover number 6. That's our marquee matchup. Sean Nadlin of Hopkins, number 22, against number 6. It's Gavin Prout of Loyola.
What's the cue line on this one, Quint?
Hopkins will be favored by 2 today.
Home field, seniors playing, 9 seniors playing their final home game. That's worth something, I guess.
How much grief, Keith, did I get from that Hopkins coach?
I'll tell you what, they were all over you, Quint. So much for that Hopkins family.
Called it a pick'em. It was a 1-goal game.
Chris Summers behind the cage for Loyola, along with Stephen Brundage. Young group there, freshman and a sophomore. Out it comes to Michael Sullivan. Sullivan had the game winner against Syracuse in overtime.
Very efficient group. Loyola likes to attack from behind in the invert formation.
And of course the man in the middle, look for him, number 6, Gavin Prout, coming off an 8-goal effort, tops in Division I this year against Hobart. Had 8 goals and an assist in that game, and on the year 31 goals, 17 assists.
Guys, we're seeing number 4 out there, Corey Harnett, one of the many freshman defensive midfielders we've seen. Guys, we saw 2 last week, Farr and Fountain for Towson, so the freshman making an impact.
Frank Patuchik, number 23, and Corey Harnett, number 4. They're asked to do an awful lot as freshmen.
Brundage up top, and a shot sails wide from Chris Summers. Summers, a sophomore from Annapolis, went to St. Mary's High School. Look at him right there, 16 goals, 19 assists, lead the Greyhounds, so he's kind of been a feeder.
Hopkins doubled with the near man, and they're not going to slide. They're not going to leave Gavin Prout.
Up top, that's Horsey. Near side to Summers, and back down low to Brundage. Brundage, oh, nice. His pocket picked by Corey Harnett.
Guy, we're just talking about Quinn. The coaches told us a couple of days ago they're always worried about what Dave Cottle has in his bag of tricks. So far, that was a pretty standard kind of offensive set there, right?
Attack from behind, attack the 2 freshmen. Harnett held his ground and then threw that great wrap check, and Hopkins cleared.
So now the Blue Jays on attack. coming off a 14-13 win over Towson. They've scored 27 goals in their last 2 games. Here's Benson, and he gets hit from behind. The ball knocked loose. John Brasco got to him.
Brasco made a beautiful over-the-head check against Benson. You had to know, when I talked about the keys with some of the personal matchups, you have to understand the storyline here. Brasco left Hopkins to play for Loyola, and Matt Hanna left Loyola to play for Hopkins. So from a personal standpoint, there are a lot of storylines.
And you saw the emotion on the bench there, Scott, after the take.